Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming today. And for those people that aren't in attendance, we have a number of people that have logged in, by the way. They're missing out on a fantastic presentation. So did you know that large, high-quality listing photos still remain the #1 desired feature by 90% or more of home shoppers who use the internet in their home search? Most view photos before moving on to the property description section. I'm getting your acknowledgement. 60% or more of a home shopper's time is spent viewing photos versus only 20% on the property description. The power of virtual marketing solutions like listing videos and 3D tours cannot be denied, with 85% of buyers and sellers preferring to work with agents who use video marketing, but only 15 to 20% of agents do so. And that's a NAR statistic. Most of the major real estate platforms, Zillow, for example, highlight listings with virtual marketing attached. Since COVID, platforms such as Realtor.com, Redfin, and Zillow reported increased consumer interest in 3D virtual tours. 3D tours allow access to view your home at any given time, allowing flexibility, safety, and enhanced visibility. With us today to discuss real estate marketing is Paolo Biancalani, Vice President with Preview First, a premier media company that's geared towards providing unsurpassed media benefiting the real estate industry. Actually, Paolo is the only person I really invited in here to talk about this, as a matter of fact.
Oh, really?
You know that?
No, I did not. I'm impressed.
I wanted to mention that, Paolo. Hey, thank you for coming. It's a pleasure seeing you. Thank you,
Likewise, Richard. Always a pleasure. Okay, so welcome to you guys here in attendance, and then the virtual attendees. So if you don't know who I am, I'm as Richard was saying, I'm one of the co-owners of and executive team members of Preview First. So if you don't know who we are, because I'm going to very quickly start challenging you in my space. I'm one of the premier teams doing this in the United States. So we're just regional, but usually there's my company meatball above my head here. But and also, if you guys are using us, make sure you're grabbing these for your listing presentations, and I'll explain a little bit about what's baked into this brochure for consumers to evaluate another component of your points of difference in regards to marketing. So so let me go on, and I'm going to quickly show you a couple of things, and this hopefully I'll build credibility very quickly, relatively quickly with you if you don't know who we are. So let me share. Minimize this. Okay. X out of that. Oh, you know what? Typical. It's hiding. So everybody can see that, right?
Yes.
Here in the office and at home. Okay, so Preview First. Who are we? We're one of the largest regional photography companies in the country. Okay, I work with the people you see on the shows, the fun homes that 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, $100 million properties that we help to market. I work with the people that work with the Gates and the Hollywood A-listers. So we are an award-winning architectural photography company that absolutely understands the space. We also incredible cinematographers too. So if you're on the Preview First website, you're going to recognize listings. If you subscribe to the Wall Street Journal, we're regularly in the Wall Street Journal. We're regularly in Forbes. Rob Report, if you're familiar with the Rob Report, the global luxury report that multimillionaires and billionaires subscribe to. We're often featured in the Rob Report. And a couple of homes I'll show you in a bit that have a particular piece of marketing attached to them that was usually associated with Airbnbs and condos and apartments is now getting attached to $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $10 million, $50 million properties. So if you had the Wall Street Journal couple months ago, the Jimi Hendrix property that my team shot up in LA had a 3D product attached to it that I am going to tell you right now is an absolute marketing no-brainer. Like most of my busy clients are doing it in the Irvine market. You've probably seen when you do searches for properties in Irvine, you'll notice what Redfin and Zillow and Google and all the platforms are serving up is homes with 3D. And that's not just because they've all invested in Matterport and Zillow 3D and Oculus Rift, and we'll go over that in a bit here too, as far as like where this is all going in regards to marketing properties in general. But this is all these platforms are always about their target audience. the consumers that are on their platform, and that the same thing should apply to your marketing. You should understand the Irvine market. What are they looking for from you? What is my target audience looking for from me in regards to marketing? Things that, like the inventory is building, but it's building because of a couple different things. Expected time to market's one of them. It's going to get more and more and more competitive this year. I've been doing this. We've been in business since 2003. In regards to luxury media, we are the largest producer in the United States for luxury media. Okay, and most of what sells in Irvine, and then Shady, and well, that's the west side of Irvine, and a lot of Woodbury, et cetera. Those are all luxury homes. So I know what I'm talking about in regards to this product, photography. And as Richard kindly read some of those stats, if you look at all the housing trends reports, if you're looking at what your target audience has an appetite for, photos, thank goodness, because I'm mostly staff and photographers, is still number one. What's quickly changing is floor plans in 3D. Very quickly changing. I mean, like, AI is going to push this so quickly in regards to augmented reality, and big companies like Apple weighing into our space. You don't think that they launched a $3,500 product because they're morons. They know what they're doing. They're watching the trends. They're seeing the data. They're seeing where this is all going. You're having companies like Facebook paying a kid, a young man that I've been to his house, because my son went to high school with his sister, and they had their graduation party at Paul Malecki's home on Lido Island. And he sold his little company to Facebook for $2.3 billion with a B. And all they do is they make 3D goggles. Okay. And he's buying up most of Lido Island, if you're familiar with that little neck of the woods in Newport. Now he's moved on to government military contracts. Very smart young man. It's like almost like a young Elon. But he's not the only company that's doing this. Like Facebook, they're not morons. These companies are spending billions. If anyone noted a company called CoStar, you know this company called CoStar?
Yeah. Commercial.
Okay. Who did they just buy a couple, 3 years ago? Homes.com.
Oh.
Yeah. So Homes.com, and who did they just close a deal on a week ago? Matterport. So CoStar paid 1.6 billion with a B for Matterport. I would have told them to save their money, and I was chatting with them a couple Super Bowls ago when they were asking my opinion on things, because they know I'm involved with Zillow, and we're going to touch on that too. So look, I'm just a regional team, but I'm big enough that I do speak to the platforms. They're all pushing heavily into 3D. It's driving their marketing. Their fluid algorithms are programmed to look for listings with it, and if you attach it to your listing, up you go in the search results. And a whole bunch of other SEO magic happens for you on these big. I've spoken to people that had a hand in the Google search algorithm. It's all pre-programmed. No humans are involved. And one fluid algorithm learns from another fluid algorithm, and you attach the right piece of marketing, and because they know what their target audiences are looking for. And believe you me, your target audience has the same appetite. And most of my clients, if I ask them about 3D, they have a negative opinion of it. I'm talking, I train sometimes, there's 6,000 agents in a training of mine. I love these small office meetings where we can get, in a sense, the good synergy on questions, and why is this being driven, and what's the reality behind it? And will these things put me out of business? And no, they won't. And absolutely, consumers are loving immersive marketing, and it's not lost in all the big platforms. Okay. So, preview first, go on the website. You'll see, you'll recognize that was the Jimi Hendrix property that had the Zillow 3D product attached to it, which is what I'm going to show you guys more detail on this here in a bit. Sue Wong is the fashion designer that owns that property, of course, but it was the place to be seen. Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin and all of them used to hang out and jam there. Jimi Hendrix wrote Purple Haze in one of the rooms. I've been to this home, and go on the website. You'll know which room it is. It's a trip. It's a total trip. You don't even need LSD to write the song in that room. So, so anyway, and then so my team went out. We did the photos for Christoph Chu. If you're familiar with him, he's the #1 influential video agent in America, and he is promoting to his clients and their Hollywood A-listers the Zillow 3D product, because he knows what it's doing for them in the neighborhood, pushing out to the local neighbors. And he knows on Zillow that people are now shopping $5, $10, $50 million properties. Did I hear this from clients within these Coldwell Banker? I hear it from my top Compass clients that are some of the biggest clients, Compass agents on the West Coast, that a lot of their luxury buyers are coming to them from Zillow now. And if you can add one little piece of marketing to these big giant platforms, that their algorithms will then cozy up to your listing and apply a whole bunch of free honey to it, you absolutely need to do it. So I'm going to show you the data points now. I just want to show you that this is not just apartments and condos. This was the Tom Cruise property that we shot in Laguna Beach that we added it to too. This was the Princess Saudi Arabia's place, right, in Bel Air. This was the record listing for Orange County, and this was the third most expensive one we shot last year in 2024. All 3D. So hopefully you guys you're tracking with me in regards to the common theme here, right? So again, go on and search for homes in Irvine. You'll see what they serve up. All the platforms are going to serve up immersive marketing. Okay. Multiple research studies that I'm going to cover here hopefully very briefly, because I have the meeting read, but it's whatever, about 40 minutes. Okay, great. Okay, so here we go. So again, if you're using us, build us into your listing pitch, right? Believe it or not, photos is still way up there in regards to the evaluation of your services in regards to the success of a listing. So consumers, and I'll show you all the research studies that confirm it. You think, oh, okay, photos, I can just go do it with my cell phone. No, you can't. There's algorithms programmed for what's called to evaluate the metadata in the photos. It's the DNA of a photo. It knows what it was shot on. It knows the quality of it. It knows where it was shot. You have to know Photoshop to be able to go in there and remove that DNA from photos. So now all that metadata DNA is being analyzed by these big platforms, and it ranks you. It affects your SEO, right? So if you're absolutely being cognizant, if your marketing decisions are being very strategic and deliberate, then share that with potential clients. Like, look, I work with an award-winning photography team. I add unique marketing that geo-targets people looking up on the big platforms. It drives my listings to them. It pushes me to the top of the search results, gives consumers direct access to me to answer questions about my listing on all these major platforms where by design, they want to connect the buyer with a contact call center to monetize the listing and make it very difficult, if not distort, communication process with the listing agent. I've had a hand in web design. It's by no chance that you on page 3, buried in the facts and features section on Zillow, your contact info on these, which is how most people will look at your listings, not these.
Do you guys modify the metadata on the photos?
We don't. So it's embedded. It's like, if you know the metadata, right?
Yeah,
so, so obviously what we not wanting to show, and we can hide, is all the edit treatments, and we have like 28 edit treatments that we apply to our photos, right? Manual blending and exposure and all of that, midtones and all of the stuff that we do to your photos. But no, the location, we want that in there. It helps with SEO. So we absolutely leave all of that in there. Yeah, unless you specifically say, hey, my client, we've had clients before. We had a property, a double lot in the Strand, where they had millions and millions of dollars hanging on the walls, and there was a very private, very well-known individual, and we really were strategic about hiding as much as we could from the public in regards to that property. So we can absolutely do it, but most times you want all that information available for all the non-human bots to get a hold of all that information and stew it all together for the synergy of SEO, right? So, but some photographers are not even aware of this stuff. I see photographers in the Irvine area not shooting with flash. They're like, oh, we're natural light photographers. That's AKA I don't know how to use flash. So it's difficult to know how to properly blend in and use flash. You cannot get accurate colors and you cannot get true detail and texture without using flash. You don't want to flash heavy where it looks like showroom photography. And I got some clients, like if you know the Deft Daring group, some of the bigger clients in Newport, if you know Tim Smith, they like that look and they want that look from me. But most times consumers are looking for more of a natural representation of the space. When they walk in there, they were like, okay, this looks like the photos. I like this. Versus like, oh my word, like color palette is completely different. I don't like this. So yeah,
Well, your photographers, they go one step further. Like I've seen the photographer go in the room and just flash in different corners of the room to see what's going to look better, and then they decide, okay, this is where the shots can. It's pretty cool to see that.
I like that.
I asked, are you taking pictures? No, he's like, no, just flashing the different,
Yeah, they
just
want to
it's-
see balance in it.
Yeah.
So what we're so okay. So all of that is extra money. Just so you know, from an
Yeah.
operational standpoint,
Yeah.
if natural light photography was, the margins we'd be making so much more profit of all you guys.
Yeah.
No offense, but we try to do it the right way, and it's so it's extra time on property, and we're bouncing light to create fill flash and to drop light onto like countertops to get that the quartz to strike, and show the detail in the wood and the cabinetry, and it's every space is different, and even if we shoot the same model at a different time of day, it's a different troubleshooting process that my team goes through to
Yeah,
watch them
yeah,
go through.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's oh yeah.
So you actually, what everybody tells a listing client or potential listing client is that we have professional photography.
Right.
But the way you described it is much more beyond that. So where do we find the text that you just shared with us to help us
Yeah.
present that differently than saying, oh, we have photographers coming in?
So
Because everybody says that.
yeah, in my guide here, we do in the brochure.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Okay.
we do
Alright.
speak about the technical nature that Preview First shoots photography at. So it's a real precise art form. I mean, of course, the algorithms and the actions that are built into the iPhones are pretty impressive. But when you're looking at a space and now you have to evaluate it, and you're looking at like anterior rooms and knowing how to light it, and then you're looking at all the detail, and then you still want to maintain the architectural intent and mood of the space. It's a real precise process like that we go through. So it is it kind of highlighted in that brochure.
Because that's part of our
Yeah.
telling presentation.
It should be,
Yes.
and not only that, you're working with an award-winning team that literally shoots for the stars. So I mean, we just did Sandra Bullock's property and Adrian Rogers' property. I mean, we work with NFL, NBA, Hollywood A-listers, and we work for you. None of my team touch post-production editing. So when you have a production team member come out, just know that the editing team is the same team that worked on Princess Saudi Arabia's place, is working on your images for Irvine. And so when you're saying to clients, hey, I work with an award-winning team, photos are still paramount of importance to buyers, and not just buyers, but the search algorithms and everything else that's happening on these big platforms. My team is very deliberate about what they do with the imagery. But wait, then I also make sure I add immersive marketing that then drives my listing to people searching for similar listings. And it brands it with me, gives them, so we're going to go into that here. That's like your next part of your pitch, which would be now we're talking about where all the NAR's housing trend reports, Zillow's housing trends reports, all the major platforms trends reports are literally saying the same thing, and they're independent of each other. So they're saying consumers want great photos from you. If you're talking about marketing, the next thing they want from you is floor plans, and 2 to 3% of the market's providing it. 20% of my top clients are providing it. So just so you know, most of my busy clients, if you've seen even the ones around, if you're familiar with a lot of the busy agents in Irvine, you're wondering how they keep getting to the top of the search results. Like when I search for a property in Irvine, it's like them. How's that? Because they're adding this piece of marketing I'm going to show you. And it's the algorithms that are going, you have the necessary piece of marketing. I don't care if you're a premier agent, because there's not a premier agent team monitoring this. It's Zillow's algorithm that is going, you have the necessary code, here are the applications to your listing automatically. And and I'll show you, it's a total no-brainer. Like again, I'm large enough that I helped Zillow launch what I'm going to show you. We ran that many years ago. We ran a pilot program for Zillow to gather data on the viability of a solution that competes directly with Matterport. And they said, this is gold. They launched it nationwide. And they then extended it to all my competitors. So I'm not the only photographer that has access to this. So if you at home, if you guys are here and you at home, you're going, dang it, I really love working with Michelle, Billy, or whoever it is. I hope you work with us, but you absolutely can tell them what I'm about to tell you, they can go get the right spatial camera, go get certified by Zillow, and do this for you. So that's my free bit of goodwill here.
That's where it ends.
That's where it ends. So, I'm a total capitalist. I gotta warn you. So anyway, so if you are using us, the other thing I will tell you, if you're using us, hey, tell people, because everybody gets that Dream Home magazine. Everyone's like, oh my word, it's a piece of junk. You go into people's homes, they still have it, like on their coffee tables, and when they're looking to move and they start dreaming about the next home, they're looking at that magazine. So Dream Homes is still pretty relevant here in California and SoCal. Go on there, I'll go on Dream Homes, go to the business directory. Preview First is the only photography company on their business directory here in California. So you can say, look, I work with a very exclusive award-winning photography company. Go on Dream Homes. You'll see they're the only company that's been promoted by Dream Homes. There's multiple other accolades. We've won the Golden Nugget, which is like the Academy Awards for photography. So if you're a geek, photo geek, you'd be like, oh my word, you won that? But otherwise, people are like, what do you like? McDonald's give you guys that? Or, it's like the Nugget Award. What is that? So it's actually a big deal. Anyway,
There's
so
also a marketing aspect associated with home developers too, right?
yes,
Yeah,
so
so
you
it's a
absolutely,
big issue.
So it's a big deal. It's a
It
big
is.
deal. It's like 1,100 people vying for that, like,
Yes.
on any annual basis. So okay, this is what you're up against, right? So the nosedive in volume until recently, and then it's really based upon expected time in market that we've seen that inventory building. And you got people that are like panicking now, like, oh my word, I've waited too long. And then you've got buyer sentiment and all these other things going on with the jobs report and interest rates and all this other stuff. So no, you're up against it. Just so you know, but the good news is that there's multiple good things you can be doing. And like I was sharing with Richard, my company, we've been in business for 20 years. We had our busiest first quarter ever. I'm growing all my teams. All my employees that shoot for me from Santa Barbara down to San Diego. We have 7 teams. Again, one of the largest in the space. And I'm growing literally every single one of them right now. Our clients are figuring out this tough market, and they're figuring out how to be competitive and how to articulate that in meetings and listing presentations and their marketing. So you've seen it's gone from 6 to 5 to 4, and we've bumped slightly in 2024 up to 4.5, right? So marketing matters. Marketing really matters. When stuff was flying off the shelf, maybe not so much. If you're handling luxury, yeah, still. But I will show you like a property that we marketed in Laguna Beach. If you saw, and again, just direct your clients to this. The OC Register, 7 Montage, $32 million property sells in 4 days. That was Preview First. Okay. We were the 6th photography team to shoot that home. That homeowner was a piece of work. I don't know if you saw that with the subterranean pool and gorgeous home. So your marketing does matter. The team you work with does matter. Okay, and it's not lost on consumers too in regards to if you're able to fully articulate that, of course. So like we went through earlier, photos are still king. Katrina ran about 90% have said it's extremely important. I'll show you the deeper reports by Zillow. That dives, it gets more granular on all of this stuff. But this is where I think you guys are this could be really valuable to you to start to articulate this at the door, on the phone, in the living room. For 3 years running now, NAR's trends report has said floor plans are second, right below photos. And I know based upon the typical market, how few agents, particularly in the Irvine area, LA, they're all over floor plan. But you go down to San Diego and it's like, why do I need a floor plan? Because consumers want it from you. Oh, they do? And you show them the trends report. They go, okay, all right, so I'll start doing floor plan. Same thing goes with Orange County. It's literally all markets in the US, they're looking for floor plans from you. They love to understand spatially how the spaces connect. But it's not just the 2D black and white floor plan. They want interactive floor plans. They want spatial context. And that's where the solution that I'm going to show you here comes in. And that's why Zillow's got behind it to the tune of many, 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 many millions of dollars refining this thing and perfecting it. Because again, eventually you're going to put on a set of glasses and you're going to be able to navigate through a home and say, I don't like these floors. No problem. White oak. How's that? Good. Pull title. Is that a load bearing wall? No, it's not. Okay. Open floor concept design. Gone. Nice. Okay. Book an appointment. I want to come see this one. And the guy's in, wherever he is. And, so this is where it's going, right? This is where the marketing of homes is going to eventually. And eventually, you'll have these AI solutions that'll, be accompanying you as you touring homes to eventually, I think it'll definitely increase sight unseen purchases, which, already with 3D is being shown to be viable. Okay. And then right after floor plans, number 3, buyers want access to you, to your contact info, okay? And I'm going to demonstrate how effective this is in the listing presentation in a second. Okay, and then video with luxury is still important. So if you're like, oh, dang it, now, like, I've been really building up my value add in regards to the video. I've been listening to Tom Ferry and Brian Buffini for years, and they always telling me to do this. Keep doing it. Like if you're marketing luxury, in fact, I would even challenge you further. Like if you listen to Tom of late, what's he been saying? I don't know if you guys follow Tom Ferry or.
Yes.
Okay, you do. Okay. So what's he been saying, right? As far as your videos, show up in your videos, like personalize your videos. You're not going to, you're in a business that's about relationships, and none of you are, there's literally 2% of agents that personalize their videos like Tim Smith, I think you see, you guys are familiar with Tim Smith, right? With the Duffy and we didn't do that video. That was a $45,000 video that cost him. But he had a dance troupe come down from LA, and they, in Newport, that $15 million property. Tim's got a crazy budget per listing. I'm not saying to do that, but for $75, you can show up in your video. And if you, with the deck that I'm going to send to Richard, you're going to have a couple examples that of both the 3D solutions I'm recommending and the video solutions. You're going to see Randy mic'd up saying, hey, welcome to my gorgeous listing here in montage. And then there's an outro with him with saying, help you enjoy the property, with a very important call to action saying, please contact me, or my contact info is going to follow. Basic intro outro is $75 to add it to one of my videos. And it literally will double or not triple engagement. Hopefully you heard that. So 200 to 300% in engagement when you personalize your videos. And it's the number one fear of humanity, ahead of spiders and worms and nasty little things that crawl around on the floor, that is public speaking, and it's called glossophobia, the fear of public speaking, talking to consumers, but you want, as per Tom Ferry, you will not get the I know you, I like you, I want to do business with you phone calls if you don't personalize your marketing. So go on our website, you'll see a Coldwell Banker agent teams on our landing page introducing a $20 million property in Newport Coast. And then the one that I'll be sending to Randy is the 7 montage one that was the $32 million that sold in a few days. That's Randy mic'd up doing intro, outro. Just keep it simple. I've challenged clients to do this before, and I said, look, I'll give you your money back. If you have like hardly any response difference between your normal marketing and when you show up in your media. There was an agent in Dana Point. She got like hundreds of comments, and like she literally said she got 1,000 likes, and she literally looked like she was about to have an embolism. She's a light fair colored lady, and she went red. Like, I mean, I remember watching that first video, and veins, but she suffered through it, and now she does it on every single one of her listings. Okay. So again, I want to hopefully be your marketing partner, and this is what the data is supporting. Okay, but you guys are going to be willing to get out of your comfort zone and personalize your marketing. I mean, keep doing the social media posts and stuff like that. I'm talking about your listing videos. Okay, show up in your listing videos. Okay, so 3D. Here we go. Who's doing 3D? Let me minimize this here so I can kind of see this more clearly. Okay, mention Tim Smith. So Tim is a big Matterport supporter. I had to meet with him a couple months ago in Newport. Paolo, why should I shift from Matterport over to Zillow 3D, which is what I'm going to recommend you all do. You're doing Matterport right now. Wait until you see the data. It's a no-brainer. It's a total no-brainer that right now, until Zillow monetizes this thing, and they have not monetized this opportunity, which is like shocking because it's $6 billion of annual business to them, is monetizing your listings. Okay. I'm going to show you in a bit on a phone here. I want somebody to give me a listing, and I'm going to, which says call agent on Zillow. We're going to call them, and we're going to reach the Zillow contact center. And then we're going to ask them to give me your information. And after the second time or the third time, they usually hang up on me because they want my contact info to hand it over to who? Who does
To their
Zillow
premier
want to
agents,
hand
yeah.
to? Whoever paid Zillow
Yeah.
for your
Yeah.
neighborhood, right? They don't want to connect that potential lead with you. When you add the Zillow 3D tour, most people navigate your listings by the photo carousel, and I'll show you that in a bit. It disables that schedule a tour button on Zillow. And instead, it presents you, and you now follow the buyer around, and they have the ability to call you while still home shopping on Zillow. All of that is free if you add a Zillow 3D tour. And Zillow will not tell you that, but I've seen behind the curtain on things, and they did not have me sign an NDA on that. They've had me sign NDAs on other stuff that's coming. So I'm telling all you about it. And most of my busy clients, again, are doing this. So I'll show you in a bit. It's killer. It's killer. I'm in a listing presentation, and I'll show you in a bit how I've suggested to clients to do it. In a listing presentation, if you know you have a live listing and you're like, let me demonstrate how unique my marketing is. You got the Zillow app, right? Okay, just so you know, 70 to 75% of Irvine shops using that app, and 80 to 90% of them you do it with their phones. Okay, please bring out whatever it is, 123, Quail Hill, whatever the property is, or Shady Canyon Avenue. I should know these lanes. Canopy, in Quail Hill. So 48 Canopy, bring it up. Okay, so see, okay, look through the photos. By the way, that's an award-winning photography team that I work with. Secondly, this interactive floor plans, click on that. Notice how you can navigate around. Notice how it's learning. I'll show you here in a bit. See my photo there? Notice I'm following you around. Click my headshot. It's going to go. See where it says call Richard, call me, and your phone's going to ring in the listing presentation. You say, so you're a buyer on home. You're still on Zillow, right? So this is representative of a buyer on Zillow. It has direct access to me while still home shopping on Zillow to answer questions about my listing. No one should be answering questions about my listing but me. Like, I know the value added of this property, of my listings, and I love that opportunity in order to do the same for your listing. And then what I've told them is that whoever you end up doing business with, my free bit of advice is make sure they add this marketing on Zillow. I'd love to work with you, but whoever you choose to ultimately do business with, please make sure they add this AI-driven marketing on Zillow, which is where most people shop for your listing. And they'll go back to whoever they were thinking of doing business when they go, you do add these AI floor plans, right? That connects the buyer with you and pushes you to the top of the search results. And they're like, what are you talking about? Only 2% of the market's currently doing this, 2 to 3% across the US, right? So
is this information on that flyer?
it is, yeah. Oh, so these are my slides that I'm going to email over to you. I'll email over to you guys to be able to share with your agents. Okay, so again, I usually ask a 80 to 90% of all surveys throughout the US in regards to all them and across all demographics absolutely adore immersive marketing. Okay, so just remember, it's about your target audience. Okay, not you. And I'm not a big Zillow fan. They changed a couple things on me, but I'm going to show you data that everyone's like, paolohomes.com, our savior. They come in to rescue us from the 70 to 80% market share that Zillow's enjoying. I was speaking to Homes.com 2 Super Bowls ago, and we were chatting with their management team about things. They're like, Paolo, we want to keep talking to you, but we got about to launch an insane marketing campaign. And they launched a $1 billion marketing campaign with a B. So $1,000 million of marketing to compete against Zillow. They're $500 million through that. And guess how much market share they've won back from Zillow? 1%. Consumers love this blankie. Okay, I'll show you in a bit. They have 3 times the nearest competitor as far as market share goes. Okay, there's 2 billion people that visit their platform every month. 200 million unique visits. Half of America technically shops on Zillow once a week. Okay, they're the elephant in the room. I'm not telling you to go join the pay-to-play team, but if you can be visible on where everyone is shopping, for the most part, and get them to show some love to your listing, and brand it and drive it to people with push notifications that are searching for similar listings in Irvine and do it all for free, you should be doing it. That's just a good business decision. And I've had clients that literally viscerally dislike this platform, and they're doing this because they like it. So this is like a hack, right, Paolo? Like, yeah, it's like a legal hack. So they're like, oh, I'm doing it. I hate Zillow. Okay, so I don't know. You might be a premier agent in here, and you're like, Paolo, why now you like sounds like I'm really against Zillow.
I don't think anybody likes.
Okay. So I'm trying to like be balanced here. So like if you've had homes.com approach you and they're like 156 million, we're like right behind Zillow. Just FYI, if you know statistics, that's self-reported. Okay. Here's the reality. And every time they've done that, this is their marketing spend in millions, 120, 130. When they throw a whole bunch of money at the market, yeah, their views go up. But I think it's inflated. And again, this is all self-reported data. Here's the reality. So again, this is self-reported. So you can see it's about 3 times than the independent research studies are showing. Okay, this is the reality. So if you're like consumers, you're like, hey, if you go in there and somebody before you has gone gunning for that listing and said, I am a homes.com, I have a paid relationship with homes.com to drive leads and outperform Zillow, that's why you should list with me. You go, well, that's great. But the reality is that my listings outperform competing listings up on Zillow with a certain type of marketing I do. I have a profile, and I guarantee you should absolutely have a free homes.com profile. But right now they're still, thank goodness they are second. And I'm trying to help them balance our market a bit because I still think they have way too much market share. But this is the data the most recent data that came out first quarter of last year. So I'm waiting for the data to come out from end of 2024 to see how much more market share that they got. But what we've been able to ascertain is that $500 million has been really effective at getting Redfin and Realtor.com's market share, but not Zillow's. 1%. Okay. So just be aware of all the data and know how to articulate this and be able. Then now what you are is you're showing, hey, look, consumers are on these platforms. I've got unique marketing that I know absolutely gives my listing unfair market advantage on these platforms. I'm absolutely aware of what's going on with regards to the interplay between Zillow and homes.com. I'm visible on both. I'm aware of, and also what happens to the marketing that we attach that Zillow 3D, it pushes over to Redfin. At least it was until the recent purchase of Redfin. Everyone's aware of that, right? So Redfin was bought recently. So I'm going to see if that Zillow data partnership that they have with Redfin changes, because we've been adding these Zillow 3Ds to Zillow, and day 2 they magically show up in Redfin, not having added them to the MLS. So Zillow, Trulia, and Redfin is where this magic happens for you. Okay, Zillow 3D tours. Why add them? Okay. There's multiple other benefits, but these are the core reasons that you want to memorize this stuff and be able to explain this to potential clients. Okay. So the algorithm, again, once my team, and we do it all concierge for you, we come out, we get the photos done, and then my team sets aside the cameras, and we grab our spatial cameras, and we get all the spatial data, which we then hand over to Zillow's engineering team, to their floor plan team, and they generate an artificial intelligence floor plan for you, a 2D floor plan too for your brochures and your flyers. You want to absolutely add those to the MLS. On Realtor.com, on Redfin, all of those platforms, their algorithms will recognize that you have a schematic floor plan of the property, and it pushes you up in SEO. Because again, it's pre-programmed. They've seen all the trends report. Consumers want this from their platforms. And when you add what they want on their platforms, up you go. Okay, in search result placement, and ultimately Google. It's not lost on Google. When I'm done with this meeting, go on Google. It's homes for sale in Irvine and see what Google serves up. It'll be homes with immersive marketing. Okay. Again, it's all about the consumer experience on their platforms, and they're like, why was this listing more interesting to consumers than this listing? Why was this listing more interesting to consumers than that listing? What's the common factor? What seems to be this marketing? Okay. And look at another 1,000 homes, another 10,000 homes, another 100,000 homes. It's this one same variable. It's this 3D. absolutely program it. If homes have this piece of marketing, up they go. Because consumers are looking for them on their platforms, right? So it's just, again, it's just all about consumer experience. What makes their platform and then their platforms more sticky than a competing platform, and they can turn around and Google can sell that to marketers. Okay, so just like Google has the Gmail and the Maps team, right? And you don't pay for that, do you? You don't pay for that service. So then people have this misconception that Google is some kind of nonprofit. They're not a nonprofit. They're $1 trillion company. Zillow has the exact same setup where they have a product development team that creates sticky products to make their platform sticky. And then they turn around to agents and went, you know what? We had 2 billion visits last month. You want a little piece of that? This much, 1,000, 5,000. I got clients paying $10,000, $20,000 a month to Zillow. I'm not telling you to do that. They tell me that they're 2xing and 3xing their investment, but the majority tell me they entered that pay to play and they exited out of it because it wasn't a good ROI to them. But this is all free. So add one of these Zillow 3Ds to a listing. The algorithm goes, you have the necessary piece of marketing, boom, all this magic starts to happen for free. They don't care if you're a premier agent. Go to the top of the search results per week. I literally can show you the #1 agent in Newport Beach that does 120 listings and her listings like consistently 1 out of 300 something listings. But if that magic really happens for a week, you do maintain premium placement the entire time your listing's live. The algorithm does give your listing preferential treatment, but that first week is up you go. Special email Zillow pushes to home shoppers who are often the neighbors. So your branded content is going out to your farm, okay, courtesy of Zillow. Zillow then red tag or badge the listing as having 3D home. Again, consumer reports say consumers will gravitate to listings that show that kind of marketing. Most magically, in my opinion, is that the listing gets branded with you, okay? And home shoppers have direct access to connect with you while home shopping up on Zillow. Here's a little more detail. You'll have, again, you're gonna have access to these slides to be able to go through it. That gives you a little more detail, a little more granular on the benefits. Study this, learn it, and when it comes up, don't force it in a listing presentation. If they're going with you and then you start, regurgitating all of this, they'd be like, oh my word. But sometimes a little TMI as far as the information. But if they're like saying, okay, please explain to me why I should work with you. Like, what do you do different up on the platforms? Or what will you do differently for my listing? And then you can get into some of the stuff with them.
So Paul, I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you guys create the 3D tour, you give us 2 links, a
Yeah.
branded one and an unbranded version.
Yeah.
So we're going to copy and paste the unbranded version into the MLS, but then there's another feed that goes out to the other websites, and we're going to paste the branded link onto that one, right?
Good question. So say like we did the normal photo shoot, right? We came out, we did the photos, and then say you say you did video, or we just did the Zillow 3D, right?
Yeah.
Then my team delivered 2 versions of the virtual tour property website, right? So we'll deliver you a branded virtual tour property website that attaches all the media in one place, and then we'll give you an unbranded version of that to be able to put that on the MLS in the appropriate section on the MLS.
Right.
Please make sure you also put the branded virtual tour property website into the appropriate section on CRMLS, which is one of the very few MLSs in the country that allows for branded content too. Because like 100+ outlets. I often find clients are not doing that, just so you know.
Is that what makes it work with Zillow?
So we get into the Zillow. So that's just one. Make sure you're doing that because we've shot about 350,000 homes. So Google thinks www.previewfirst.com is pretty important. We're usually showing up on page 1 in the search results, okay, with all the big platforms,
right.
Okay, so that's 1. 2 would be, then we did the Zillow 3D, right? We hand all that data over to Zillow on the day of the shoot, and they start to build all the AI flow. You don't have to do anything about, in regards to it showing up on Zillow, Trulia, and Redfin. So it's all concierge, okay? Day 2, my team will then email you that non-branded share link, the Zillow 3D link to put on the MLS if you want to put on the MLS. We'll also deliver the 2D schematic floor plans that you absolutely want to add with your photos to the MLS.
So the branding goes into the syndication remarks. Okay.
Right.
So remember, you can't submit branded information on the MLS itself, but in the
Syndication, sorry, yeah,
remarks,
correct. So
then you can actually submit that information.
I'm,
Right.
and
Yes.
so many clients are not doing that. And it's like, are you, like, I mean, in LA, they would pay a lot of money. I'm like, let's say they killed for it, they wouldn't, but they pay a lot of money. They cannot do that in LA. There's multiple MLSs, so that doesn't permit what
Here
CRMLS
you
allows.
can,
Yeah.
yes.
So, but as far as the Zillow link, the only other thing would be like we added to the virtual tour the unbranded link. We do that automatically for you, but some clients still like us to send them the unbranded Zillow 3D tour link, and they still like to add it to the MLS. I mean, if it's maybe then for the purposes of Realtor.com, because they one of the few that this thing doesn't syndicate over to. Like when we hand it over to Zillow, it auto syndicates to Trulia and Redfin, but not Realtor.com. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Christian, yeah.
So you're saying it would only sync with the other platforms if it was the branded link
If you're talking about like, we're talking about the
and the MLS?
on the so like on the MLS. So if you're talking about like when you shoot with us, every preview first shoot comes with a free property website. Okay, so branded and unbranded. So first off, make sure you're putting the branded version of
Into the syndication remarks, which
Into-
is different than the public remarks.
Got it.
into and it goes out to a ton of outlets. Like it's just free, great marketing for you. And also what that does is because preview first, we have strong SEO. You're going to show up in the search results when people are on Bing, on Google, wherever they are, right? Then now, so the property website aside, the Zillow 3D tour, which is this, right? The 3D tour that enables people to navigate around your listing. We deliver one version to Zillow. So you don't have to mess with adding it to Zillow. You don't have to mess with adding it. This is the branded one to Trulia or Redfin. Then there's an unbranded version of this that doesn't have your branding on it that we hand over to you on day 2. We email that to you. So once the team will email you the link, and then attached to that email is also the black and white version with all the dimensions of your detailed schematic floor plan, right? That one you need to manually go and add that to the MLS with your photos, okay? So, and my team there's instructions like on the email that you'll get from us on how to do all of this. And then I have just little beams of sunlight, a large customer support team that will answer any questions you have about this. Because this is like, I've been handling this for 5 years. And so I'm relatively techie, but it goes next level, like with the algorithms and stuff that my son, and he runs a digital agency, tries to explain algorithms to me. And I feel like my gray matter is like melting out of my ears. So, and I'm pretty techie. So trust me that this is an easy button to tap into AI. This is like, if you want one easy button in 2025, add Zillow 3D tours. It comes with AI and it comes with so much magic. It's just a no-brainer. Like I don't own a dime of Zillow stock, but I'm telling you to do that. Like if I'm your photography marketing partner, this is a no-brainer. Okay. This is the #1 team in Irvine for that brand. 120 listings, 100 to 120 listings. Every single for sale and for lease listing has one of these things. Down in San Diego, same thing. Again, it shows up on Redfin. A Zillow product shows up on Redfin, magically bypassing the MLS. And Zillow asked me not to share this with you, but they didn't have me sign an NDA, so I'm telling you this. Because one time the management team member I work with out of Seattle shared this with me. I'm like, tell me how the heck is, like, we're handing this product over to your team, your floor plan team, but it's showing up on, I get Trulia, you guys own Trulia. And how's it showing up on Redfin? They're like, well, we have a data partnership with Redfin. Like, so the competing platform has an API push to another competing platform, and then it ends up with the competing platform's product on the other competing platform with Zillow disclaimers on Redfin. That's more than just so I was actually really surprised when that Zillow didn't buy Redfin. Who was it? Bank.
Rocket Mortgage.
Rocket Mortgage bought them. So I'm like, wow, okay, that would really surprise me because I thought this was all the stuff that they were leaking was leading to me suspecting that potentially Zillow would buy Redfin. Okay, so So this is what your listing looks like without one added. Consumers go land on your property website. 80 to 90% on the weekend. Like almost all the traffic on Zillow is on phones on the weekend. Okay, during the week it's about 80%. They start in the photo carousel and they start cycling through, and eventually they're like, "That's it, I love this property," and they hit request a tour, and they think they're connecting with you. They're not. They're connecting with down here. If they read the small print, with the Zillow contact center. Okay, and they fill out all their contact info, and a Zillow Premier agent calls it, because I've done this at meetings, and then I had to eventually be rude to the person that was being very diligent to follow up with me 3, 4, 5 times, that I just did it for marketing purposes. I'm not looking to buy the home. So, and I've done it even in meetings before where I try and literally where it says that they were a Premier agent, and it says call agent, and it doesn't tell you who the agent is, but so they were Premier agent paying them, and I hit call. We reached the live at the meeting, reached the call center, and after the 3rd time, I said, "Look, I just want to be able to get hold of the listing agent." They hung up on me, okay, because their objective is to get my contact info to hand me over to whoever pays for the neighborhood, not necessarily the listing agent, even if they're a Premier agent. Okay, so by contrast, okay, when you add the Zillow 3D tour, boom, now AI floor plan comes up, box number 2, right? Second most important thing on NAR's trends report. Second most important thing on Zillow's housing trends report. You will now follow the buyer around, and they have the ability, if they hit view profile, to reach your free Zillow profile. So make sure you go on Zillow and update your Zillow profile if you're doing this, with whatever you want them calling you, because they will call you. And I regularly hear from clients telling me they're calling them. And even if you have a listing that's been languishing on the market for a bit, add one of these and watch if you're tracking your analytics, they will turn north for a bit. And what I've learned from Zillow is that what happens is they're profiling all the people looking at your listings. And when you attach a Zillow 3D tour, it sends push notifications to those people that have already looked at your listing. So sometimes it's a second or third look, and that could be all that you need, where they didn't realize it was still on the market, right? Like maybe they were pursuing another listing, and now you add one of these, boom, they get that push notification, like, "Oh my word, I didn't realize that the listing was still available." So that's what I'm hearing, but you'll only see that real uptick in views for about 3, 4 days, and then it starts its slow decline.
So it seems we have to be in Zillow, not in MLS.
So if you this will not happen unless you live on the MLS. So it's only for sale listings that this magic happens with. So once you go live on the MLS, ideally what you should be doing is you should be having us do the photos and adding the Zillow 3D tour ahead of you going live. And when you do go live, then all of this boost and branding and all the geo-targeted emails start to happen. But that's once the listing goes live. If you have an existing live listing and you're like, "Dang it, it's not selling, it's not getting the performance, my client's complaining that I'm not doing enough," call my team and have us add a Zillow 3D tour to it. And you'll watch, it'll if you're watching the views, the daily views, you'll see it it'll go up noticeably for at least 2, 3 days. And what Zillow's telling us is that where that real uptick in views is it's retargeting people that have already looked at your listing and saved your listing. People that have shown interest in it but never moved on it. Okay, that's killer marketing.
So the 3D tour also results in the floor plans too.
Yes, totally, yeah. So and this is that same property, number 1 out of 351 homes in Newport. Okay. So there's multiple good reasons to add it. You get premium placement, specialized emails that go out. Again, it's why add it. You'll see the NAR's trends report. Floor plans are the number 1 most valuable item to buyers after professional photos. And this was also consistent with Zillow's 2024 housing trends report, which Tom Ferry, Brian Buffini quote. And they say, shockingly enough, Zillow's consumer housing trends report is pretty objective. And you would think it'd be laced with so much bias because it's Zillow. Obviously with thinking of estimates, but actually their housing report is pretty fair. So schematic floor plans are an essential property marketing asset for attracting buyers. Okay, this is stuff that hopefully you will memorize and you'll have available. These are like scripts for you guys. And this was the Jimi Hendrix 2D. This is the 2-dimensional floor plan that I was referring to that my team delivered to you guys day 2. So say day one would be, we shoot it today, tomorrow you get this from us, okay? Okay, and again, right after the floor plans, your contact info, okay, is what they're looking for. How easy do you think it is for home shoppers to access your contact info on all these platforms? None of them, they all monetize your listing, all of them. They all do it. Even homes.com is a little better because Andy Florence, who owns CoStar, his motto is your listing, your lead, okay? So thank goodness they're trying. But if you've ever entered the pay to play with them, it's even more expensive than Zillow. Many of my clients have told me that, okay? Okay, so here's the NAR's trends report, and you'll have this to be able to, you can print this and use this in your listing presentations. So when you're adding that Zillow 3D tour, you're checking box number 2, box number 3, as far as real estate contact info, and that's across all demographics, okay? So, and you know, as you're seeing, the value of video and stuff is still there, but it's definitely moving down in the rankings over the years. Zillow's housing trend, that the first one I just showed you, that was NAR's report. Literally every year for the last 3 years has been those results. This is Zillow's with very, very similar data. And oh yeah, high resolution photos, right? We talked about that right in the beginning. Floor plan, 82%, 76, 82% from year to year. The importance of floor plans and to sellers and buyers. Okay, so it's not just condos and apartments. That's a $39 million one in Dana that we did. And lease listings, $25,000 a month lease with the Zillow 3D tour attached to it, with the ability of somebody interested to be able to contact the agent directly. There's one locally here at Irvine, $8,079.95. So again, it's about your target audience, right? So just remember that that's what your objective is. That's kind of get your emotions out of it if you really don't care for Zillow or you don't like 3D. I'm here to tell you that it's coming on strong. It's been like this for years. I mean, these platforms are spending billions and billions of dollars on it. And it should be something maybe that you're bringing in to your listing presentations, because they probably won't hear this from other agents competing for your listings, the listings you're trying to win. So, in a nutshell, that's it. So,
question.
Yeah,
So yeah, so just to clarify, you offer Matterport and the Zillow 3D tour, right? They're two separate services. It's the same thing, but one is for Zillow and the other one's just regular Matterport.
Yeah.
So you recommend using the Zillow 3D?
I would. Let me show you. So we talked about this earlier. So for you guys, let's see. Wow. Okay. So, oh, you want to kick me out? Oh, sorry. So I'm going to show you guys here what that general experience looks like on the mobile app. So if you don't have, and I assume everybody has the Zillow mobile app, right? The blue one, the blue button one. If you don't, download that and get familiar with it. It's what Irvine's home shopping on, to the tune of 70 to 80%. And then again, on the weekend, the vast majority is on that mobile app.
Give me 1 second. Okay.
Yep.
Add you as co-host so you can share your screen. Okay, you should be able to share your screen.
Let me bring up the Zillow app. So let's get Zillow. Okay.
Are you gonna call Zillow right now?
Yes. So.
You want to share your screen?
Oh, sure.
So how do you?
So the other end. So Zoom. Oh, so we got Zoom right here. Zoom app or
Yeah.
started, right? Let's go. All right, good. Probably tap away or Oh, there you go. Beautiful. Okay, great. So, yeah, sorry. Sorry, guys. All right, so here we go. So let me show you. So like anybody got an active listing, I can, I don't want to embarrass you, but I mean, I want to show you the reality of all of this. Thanks.
Sarah?
I got one, but it's got your photography.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. So we haven't added the Zillow 3D yet. So let's
Okay.
do that one.
Give me your screens.
4664 Candleberry.
You're gonna put them on speaker, right?
Yes.
It has a 3D tour. The
Oh, it
Zillow
does?
3D
Okay.
tour, yeah.
So, okay, so this is great. So like, so
It doesn't show the 3D tour on there.
remember, so who owns Matterport? Homes.com,
Okay.
and Homes.com is Zillow's competitor.
Yeah.
So that's a competing product they will not show love to on their platform. You need to add their baby. You need to add that Zillow 3D tour. So like if I'm on here and I want to contact, so I'm going to contact, let's see. So I wonder if this is, because even normally like where you try and call, like it says call agent, so like let's see, like where, if you, usually it'll give me the option to call you. I wonder why with your profile, it's not allowing me to even try and call you. Because I've done this before multiple times. You reach the Zillow contact center. And then their objective is to get all my contact info
Maybe
to
because
hand it
you're
over
logged
to the
your
premier
account
agent.
in- Maybe.
That's not allowed.
No, he's logged in on his phone.
It's not allowing me to, normally if there's like where it says contact and it'll say call agent or it'll usually allow me to try and call the agent and the number's not to you, not to the agent, it goes to the call center.
Right.
Try another listing.
So let me show you one that we've added in, this is he's pretty chill. He won't mind me calling him. Oh wait, hold on, that's Samantha, she will. Let's go to this guy, Andy, he's nice. So, okay, so this is the one we shot in Dana, whatever, $29 million property. So I land on Zillow, normally down here, like if you, okay, actually, let's go back, we'll go back to Carlos, just so you can see what the general experience is here. And we're gonna fix this. I mean, my team are being very careful not to look like we're pushing Zillow 3D tours on you.
You said it automatically goes on the listing.
If we've done a Zillow 3D tour for you.
Yeah, and you did.
Oh, we did it? Oh, did a Matterport or did a Zillow 3D tour?
Zillow 3D tour.
For this one?
Yeah.
Okay, then we need to find out why it's not
Yeah.
attached to it. So, okay, so we'll fix that. We'll fix that right now, like when we're done here. Okay, so like if I land on here, this is the general experience. This request a tour and what consumers do, and they already know the price point and they're not gonna try and, you guys are buried down here, just so you know, page 3, facts and feature sections. There's Carlos' contact info, right? And no direct access to him. What consumers do is they go into the photo, they want the photos, just as exhibited by all the data. They start looking at the photo carousel and they're like looking through and they go, man, this is incredible photography. Yeah, I'm so amazed by this.
You're just saying that because it was you guys that did it.
So, and then they go, okay, that's it. I'm contacting Carlos. I'm whoever the listing agent is. They fill out all their contact info, right? They don't read down here that it says, by filling this all out, you're agreeing that the Zillow buyer's agent will be in contact with you, right? So that's the typical experience of consumers on Zillow versus when you guys are now going to be adding these Zillow 3D tours. This is where you can articulate this difference here. So first off, you have the AI floor plan, right? So right away, you're checking box number 2 on all the housing trends report. It's an artificial intelligence floor plan. It learns with AI as you're moving through the home. If you're noticing, it's educating me about the space I'm in, the dimensions of the space, the direction that photo was shot in. As you move through the home, it's learning. Okay, now I'm in the bathroom, right? And the whole time, Andy's following me around. Okay. So, but most people, they even believe it or not, even though we have the AI floor plan, and you can do this, you can navigate a couple different ways. It's like Matterport. So, but what they did was they went, why did consumers not like Matterport? Well, it's all those little data crumbs on the floor. Okay, let's do directional chevrons and make this really easy for consumers. And as I'm moving, if you're noticing, it's learning. Like now, I'm moving into a north. I'm looking in a north direction. Now I'm west direction. Now I'm moving in a north direction. So it's learning the whole time. It's AI, right? But most people do photos. Like they cycle through the photos and they go, you know what? That's it. I love it. I'm contacting the agent. Okay. contact team. That's Andy's cell. Andy answers here and be like, hey, Andy, hey, buddy, I'm busy showing people 67 Monarch, if that's okay. This is Paolo. I'm busy showing someone 67 Monarch. I didn't mean to call you. I'll call you later. Thanks, Andy. Okay, so
So on one that does not have the 3D tool at Zillow, it will connect to the call center, at Zillow's call center.
yeah,
When
oh,
you
yeah,
call
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Like when you try to on Carlos's.
Yeah, usually if you're a premier agent, yeah, it's gonna connect you, even if you're a premier agent. Okay, so outside your brand, I'm remembering the last time this happened was, there was a training in Yorba Belinda and a very, very busy agent in Yorba Belinda. If I named her, you'd know. And she was like, oh, I'm a premier agent. I don't need this thing. And I'm like, you think? Okay, give me a listing. So we pulled up her listing. Sure enough, it said, now, because she's a premier agent, it says call agent, right? So we called her and we put her on speakerphone. She's like, tell him you want to reach me. And I said, okay. So I said, hey, I'd like to reach Kim. And they said, okay. And she's like, no, give me all your contact info and I'll be more than happy to have someone connect with you. And I'm like, no. I believe Kim is the listing agent. I would like to click with, oh, no, sir, if you don't mind, if I can get your name and your phone number and your email, I'll have an agent call you. And I said, no, I want to get hold of the listing agent. Her name is Kim. And she went red. She was mad. I guarantee you the next phone call was to the premier team. So
the solution for her would be to just add.
Add the Zillow 3D tour. Yeah, add the Zillow 3D tour. Yeah. So
Is there a call center in the Philippines by chance?
no, this didn't sound like it. It sounded like, usually if you can hear like when they're trying to put on an American accent, this sounded like
So you
stateside.
hear the roosters in the back.
It was like this sounded stateside. So anyway, there's so many good reasons to do this. They haven't monetized it yet. I'm telling you, it's and those data points in listing presentations, they're not like 2, 3, 4, 5%. They're like 60, 70, 80, 90% of consumers, both on the buy and the sell side, are looking for this from you guys. And when another competing agent is not adding this, now that's a nice big point of difference for you and your services. Okay, so that's the stuff that my clients have been very effective to build in. And they're winning listings, and it's literally they have me hard code their accounts every single order, unless I tell you otherwise. Please add Zillow 3D tour, and these are some of them that really do not like Zillow. I've only had one time. There's a client of mine that said, Paolo, is this going to help Zillow in any way? And I went, honestly, yeah, you're helping their baby. You're putting immersive marketing up on their platform, but mostly it's helping you. I'm not going to do it. I said, did you not hear the last? Mostly it's helping you. You don't have to. This is very unusual for Zillow to not have monetized this.
Is there a price difference between the regular Matterport and the Zillow 3D tour?
I think it's the Zillow slightly discounted. It's like
and it's cheaper?
And it's cheaper, and you get the floor plan. You get the schematic floor plan.
Yeah.
You don't. You have to order for $30. You have to order the Matterport, and then there's no hosting fees. As long as the listing's live. And in fact, because that the share link that we send to you, the unbranded share link, it never expires. Unlike Matterport, you have to pay us hosting fees because we pay thousands and thousands of dollars to Matterport every month for hosting fees. So it's all free. It's Zillow's. I almost think like because there's several things they don't do right, as iBuyer and other things, right? Thankfully, because they'd be dangerous if they really. I mean, the guys that I speak to out of Seattle, they're smart young, usually younger guys. If they really had their stuff together, they'd be a force to reckon with. But thankfully, they had these crazy ideas and they launch products, and they're asking me, in my opinion, how to fix them. I help them fix. So I'm one of the few collaborators in the States. When this launched, it was a mess. It was a total mess of a product. And I gave them like 12 things to fix, and they fixed about 9 of them. There's still some glitchy things with this thing. But mostly consumers love it, and the algorithms are favoring it. They're running with this. This is their platform future is immersive marketing and 3D, and where it's going with augmented reality and AI and stuff like that. They're investing many 7 figures. So this is not going anywhere. And right now, it's almost like the pay to play team didn't go over to the product development team and says, why do you still have this door open? This free door on our platform, close it. You're messing up our sales. So, but they haven't. So they haven't closed
They
it yet.
haven't, not yet.
Not yet. So they haven't said, do it. So totally do it. Yeah. But anyway, so any other questions?
Wow, that was a lot.
It's
So can you just simplify it for us now?
Sure. Okay. So you actually, you know what? You find out if you said that there's a blurb, and it's not in this deck. So I'm gonna, when I email you the deck to share with everybody, there is a blurb that is in.
Tell us what we should be ordering. That's what we need to know.
Yeah. So well, I mean, so obviously, I mean, whoever using great photography, because it's not only consumer demand says you should be using whatever Apex vendor is in your space. Photography should be like number one. Do you need this photography that's behind me here, the twilight? I would also always add some kind of colorful image or two. There's nothing in the algorithms that is going to move you higher, but humans are humans, and bright primary colors, we're all drawn to it. Okay? So I'd always recommend adding twilight photography. We do offer a product if you don't want to pay the $300 service, because it's an after-hour service. That's where we start with our twilight-only photography. For $15, we can convert a daytime photo into a day to dusk. It's all the way at the bottom right-hand side of the pricing sheet. It's called day to dusk. At least you want like one or two of those kind of daytime, dusk, colorful sky photos with your marketing. And my team does a really good job. I see some like hacks out there that are doing it. But so and then right after that, if you were saying, Paolo, I got a limited marketing budget, what do you recommend I do? Great photography, Zillow 3D until they monetize this thing. Like even though I make more profit if you order Matterport and video from me, right now as your marketing partner, the opportunity and the market advantage you get by adding this to your listings on Zillow, it's just a no-brainer. Like, and it just when we watch the data, like, I mean, it's like 60 to 70% increase in views. It's 70 to 80 and 90% dependent on demographics in saves versus listings without one of these things. So that's
incredible.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
When you order multiple services, is there a discount?
Yeah, so
bundle them?
on here, if you see that little footnote, we've added a 50% discount to the Zillow 3D tour. It starts at $250,
Mhm.
and it starts at $125 when you've used me for photos. So there's a 50% discount that we've applied to that. So yeah, and same thing with Matterport, just so you know. But yeah, if you're adding like video, if you want to do I'll show you. Where's the? Let's
You
see.
do the share screen.
Oh, yeah, let's see if it's on here.
So for existing listings, if somebody didn't use preview first,
So if you have good question. So this is what I've done. So if you have a live listing and you want to add this to your listing to get those to retargeted, to people that have already looked at it and show the seller, hey, I'm continuing to invest. I now added artificial intelligence marketing to my listing up on Zillow. I'll honor the multi-service discount, but for live listings, to be fair to me. And then hopefully on the next one, we can do business with regards to photos and other services.
yeah,
But-
how I can manage that.
Yeah, so I'll give you that 50% discount, even though you didn't use me for photos, for an active live listing. Like,
Okay.
if you're going live next week, I hope you use me for photos and
Yeah.
and the Zillow 3D tour.
That
So
sounds very reasonable.
But what a selling point. I use the photographers that photographed the Saudi prince's house.
Yeah.
And their
That is-
editors.
It's good there for the prince.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they subscribe to Wall Street Journal, just tell them, just search previewfirst.com Wall Street Journal. You'll see.
I always like the term architectural photos also, right?
Yes,
I
yeah.
think that's a big selling point too,
Yeah.
versus a photographer coming up.
So yeah, we are award-winning architectural photography firm. So that again shoots for you guys. So understanding what consumers are looking for from you in regards to marketing, you've gone top shelf. So that's the thing that when they're evaluating one agent versus another, it's like, look, somebody's going to use the local photographer or whatever. That's great. I use an award-winning team because it's all the trends reports say this is of high value to home shoppers, and particularly in the Irvine market where you're looking at, you can't find anything under 1.5 or so. These are luxury homes, right? So technically,
It deserves it.
yeah, so all of this stuff plays into your points of difference, and I think in 2025 it's going to be about points of difference. So, any other questions? And then I challenge you about that miking up thing. So yeah, I'll reimburse you $75 if you, unless you faint or something like that, don't sue me. But yeah, because some people like me, like you literally, I've been at a couple of high profile ones, and even people that haven't done it before, but they want to do it because it's now this is their record listing career, top listing, and they'll mic up, and you can literally watch the red start to come up the neck. And it's like, nobody cares really. People don't care as much as they think they care, and they want to relate to you. They want to know you, and it really helps to personalize marketing. So it's called the intro outro. Speak to my team about it, but yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Any other questions, Paolo?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So the floor plans, are they included in the comprehensive photography or no?
So comprehensive photography is just photography. It's really great architectural photography only. And what comes with that is a property website, branded and unbranded virtual tour property website is included with every photo shoot with us. So every photo shoot, you're getting a branded and an unbranded preview first website for your listing that has strong SEO. And even though like you're using Room, I don't know if you're if you're familiar with Rela, and because if you guys are Orange County Association members, you have free Rela, and they're really good property websites. Still use ours because I guarantee you Rela hasn't done close to 400,000 homes.
What floor plan, what package do you have?
Oh, then you got to add all at the bottom right there, Zillow 3D Tour. So
To get the floor plan.
yeah, so and to get all that AI magic up on Zillow.
Magic.
Yeah, so and it includes, if you see on the bottom right of the pricing sheet, so you're gonna want either you want to go on comprehensive photography or luxury photography. Like if it's Shady Canyon and those type of neighborhoods, and I would suggest luxury photography. It's like the difference between a mini detail and a full detail. My team spent a lot more time on property and a lot more time in post-production editing, making those photos like magazine cover shots. Okay. And then the very next thing is the bottom right is that Zillow 3D tour. And it includes includes the AI floor plan and the black and white schematic floor plan that you're going to want to put in your brochures and on the MLS. Yeah.
So the top three things you said were great photography, Zillow 3D, and floor plans. So if you want that and you have a non-luxury listing, go with comprehensive plus
And
the Zillow 3D tour.
Totally.
You got it all.
Yeah, totally. And then when you do have a luxury, I'd recommend with luxury, you want the video because it's about hooking their emotions to your listing. You want them to, the way we do our videos, it gets them kind of envisioning them in those spaces and how we shoot it. It's very strategic in how we shoot it. And then if you want, we also can create a social media version of that for you for another $75. So we take your listing video and then we crop it to fill a phone screen, because most people will swipe right past you if you give them the normal widescreen version on social media, and now they have 1/3 of the screen black above them, 1/3 of below. The data says they literally will go by you. They'll move right past you. You need to fill the phone screen for your social media posts, your social media videos. There's a ton of data I share with you that supports that. So we create a social media. It's shorter. It's usually with on-trend music, little like what's called jump cuts. So kind of keep consumers engaged on social media. They have an attention span of milliseconds on social media. So we have a version of our listing videos that we would create for you. It's called our Reels. It's very original. Original name, but yeah, so $75, and it's literally we re-edit the whole video again, but for consumer for social media consumer consumption. Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah.
Any other questions?
No, and then always my team on the stuff that I've just gone through, they're all versed in it. So if you have like, oh my, because I'm often doing this and I'm not always available, but you have my business cards up here. Come grab my business cards and feel free to connect with me. I want to partner with you guys. So, but yeah, it's and then as soon as Zillow releases me from that NDA, there's actually cool things coming. So I can't tell you about them, but because they're a multi-billion-dollar company. But yeah. But it's pretty some cool stuff coming. That some other stuff that I'm like, I guarantee you they won't do everything that I saw, but some of the things I saw that it's gonna be good.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paula. Sure.
You're gonna do needs and wants?
Yeah, yeah. Are there any wants and needs? We haven't been doing that at the end of the meetings, but if anybody has any wants and needs,
Any new listings or buyers? Anybody?
okay, we're gonna try to get in the habit of asking at the end of each meeting
And thank
for
you.
wants
All
and
right.
needs.
Oh, my
So,
God.
all right, so the two, wait, oh, we have business cards coming up. Everybody put one in?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
It's a whole nother. Yeah.
All right. We all done here? Carlos, come over here. They're all mixed up, draw two. Oh,
Make sure one of those is mine.
okay, I'll draw two. And the winners go to. The Oscar goes to. I know, the Oscar goes to. Rania and Carrie.
Okay.
Wait, is that 2 weeks in a row? See, this almost pays for your business cards, with a couple of these. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll have the team of people.
Carlos, you want to sign this off or?
Ranger?
Okay. They didn't get money. They can't contact me.
No, no.
Yeah, because this is through the website. Most of the. And I went to Zillow.com.
I got you. Oh, thank you.